All right, Peter Barnes, thank you very much. Well, joining me today in Cassoni's Corner, I've got Erica Payne, founder of the Agenda Project, and Peter Morisi, economist for the University of Maryland. All right, to both of you. Peter, let's start with you. Is President Obama anti-business, or do you think that business possibly is anti-president?
No, I think President Obama is anti-business. Iacocca used to say you're known by your deeds, and I would add to that you're evaluated by your results. Well, this president hasn't seen a regulation he doesn't like. Look what he's doing in the Gulf, basically tarring every oil company with the BP brush. Financial regulation, a regulatory agency we simply don't need. Farmers paying more money to hedge their crops. No, this guy basically, when in doubt, he regulates. It's not good for the economy, and he got a very plain, bold message today.
Erica, I mean, this president is dealing with unemployment near 10%, most likely for the rest of the year. Businesses are not hiring. Is he anti-business?
Absolutely not, and I am so happy to have this conversation today. Listen, Americans love business, Democrats love business, Republicans love business. That is the engine of our prosperity. The question you've got to ask yourself is, what kind of business are you going to, what kind of business are you going to support? Are you going to support small businesses who do about 70% of new jobs in the country, or are you going to do what the Chamber of Commerce does, which is support big multinational corporations that send jobs overseas and have these giant oil spills in the Gulf? I mean, feeling sorry for BP at this point is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I don't think, Erica, that he's feeling sorry for BP, but Peter Morisi's point about the president in particular, this moratorium on offshore drilling, which, again, the administration is going after, even though two judges have already told them that is against the law, that does not follow the letter of the law. Erica, this president still wants to stop. I mean, that could be more jobs gone along the Gulf Coast, businesses gone on the Gulf Coast.
So let's think about, I mean, the other guest just said, let's look at the deeds that you do. Let's talk about what Obama has done for small businesses.
Great.
A $5,000 tax credit for new hires, a $1,000 tax credit for retention, increasing the level of small business loans up to $5 million, increasing the amount of money available to those small businesses. Those are definitive steps in the right direction of getting small businesses up and running and people employed, not to mention wanting to extend unemployment benefits.
Peter, her last two points are that money is going to small business. Well, then why are they not hiring?
Well, the simple reason is it's a teacup amount of money. The basic problem that small businesses have is they don't have enough customers and they don't have enough capital. And the capital problem relates to the 8,000 regional banks that continue to be distressed. Why are they distressed? The president spent $3 trillion propping up essentially 10 or 20 of the largest banks on Wall Street, where he and Chuck Schumer harvest enormous campaign contributions. Elizabeth Baird wanted to create a bad bank like the Resolution Trust to clean up the books of the smaller banks, the community banks. Those are small businesses that finance small businesses, and the president balked.
Okay,
That's
so
why
first
these
of all,
small businesses are in trouble.
Wall Street regulation, which is going to take care of some of the problems with small banks, is going to be passed with
small banks
2
with
or 3 Republican votes. That's number one. Number two, the best way to get a business running is to let them have customers. The best way to have a customer is to have a person with money. And the best way to make sure that these unemployed Americans have money is to make sure that you extend the unemployment benefits to them, which John Kyle doesn't seem inclined to do.
Erica, small banks in this country are under pressure because, look, they are mostly small business loans. Small businesses are not going to them for loans. Small businesses in this country, Erica, are not looking to expand, not looking to hire. This president does not to be addressing that.
Let's talk about what makes a small business expand. What makes a small business expand is because more customers are coming in the door, spending more money. When you're going to cut 3.2 million Americans off of their unemployment benefits, your customers aren't going to have money to buy in your grocery store, to buy in your retail store.
You're scaring me this week. You sound like Nancy Pelosi again, who thinks that unemployment is actually, keeping people on benefits is going to expand.
Well, Sharon Angle thinks that keeping people on unemployment that is keeping them from looking for a job. And when there are 5 people who want every single job that's open, I just think Sharon Angle needs to take a clue.
I'm not sure about Nancy Pelosi either. All right, Greg Jarrett, I want to bring you into this on Mike Santoli.
You can always judge a president by his appointments and his policies and his words. His appointments are all from government and academia. Look at his cabinet and staff, none from business. His policies all seem to be government-oriented, not incentives for investors and businesses. And finally, his words. He keeps using the term business mentality as an invective to describe people as if the profit motive is evil. I think you can decide this president based on those things.
Our profits are evil. And bankers are evil too, Mike, by the way.
Well, I actually think that gets to the point, which is the rhetoric has been, I think, a lot more dramatic than the deeds. And I think that the perception of how anti-business Obama has been, given the context in which he came to office, to me has been a little bit overstated. I think business is more hostile than, in fact, what's really been going on is going back to something that looked like the booming 90s level of regulation, not something that's draconian.
Over-regulation, Peter Morisi, over-regulation. That is the knack right now, or excuse me, the hit against this president is that they are doing too much to stifle business, and again, business does not hire.
Right, so definitely we had way too much regulation.
Erica, let me go to Peter for a second.
Hold on. We're certainly getting the wrong regulation. If we look at the bank reform bill, regulating derivatives isn't the problem. The problem was mortgage-backed securities. But the large banks in New York don't want that regulated, so it's not going to be regulated. Healthcare reform, a lot of additional mandates for small businesses to pay more money, even if they're going to get some subsidies, for healthcare, and very soft studies, exploration, promises about cost cutting in the future. We're not getting the right kind of regulation is what the problem is. And also, when he gets a chance, and whenever he picks up that phone and says, "Hello, Rahm Emanuel," he sees an opportunity. What happened in the Gulf, tarring all the other oil companies with the BP brush. I have no sympathy for BP, so don't obfuscate the issue with that. But he's basically punishing the whole class because one student made too much noise, because one student was bad. Get the delinquent out of there, but don't punish all the oil companies. But Barack Obama lives to punish businesses, and we're seeing it in the Gulf, and Lord knows his small bank policy is abysmal. He's watching those small banks go out of business one by one, denying them the help the TARP was intended to provide because they're not big campaign contributors.
That is completely ridiculous.
No, it's not.
BP had 760 violations. There is not an oil company that is drilling in the United States of America that has a relief well drilled, which is one of the regulations that should be put in place to fix this problem. The idea that this is an anti, that regulation is the problem with our economy right now. Regulation is, the lack of regulation is what it just destroyed the Gulf Coast.
Well,
let's be really clear.
Erica, that was then. This is now. You've got plenty of new regulations that we can talk about next week. Thanks to both of you, Peter Morisi, Erica Payne. Great to have you at Cassoni's Corner today. Want to let you know this heated debate is going to continue, folks. Is the president anti-business, or is business anti-President Obama?